So, okay, for a start, you know it's bullshit having all these celebrities endorse it.
Do you go back to Australia often?
I went back for the first time in 4 years for Christmas to surprise my family.
Okay. So what's interesting, and I'm guessing you've witnessed some of the authoritarianism that's gone on over there,
horrible.
Which is interesting to me because you
horrible.
don't share that mindset at all. We had some video, Delhi, the last one, you can just pull up. Children in Australia apparently eating cricket chips now. And, they're fully indoctrinated. They're asked repeatedly about, you can play it while we're talking. Let me see if it's, I don't know.
You have more chips. Good stuff. Do you like them, Annabelle? Do you like them? Yeah, they're great.
Only because he said, do you like them?
Right. So, and we can pause that. I just wanted to show a second of that.
That is child abuse.
And then we can also show, let's go to the second one, the Instagram. Yeah, so we don't even have to put the sound on for this, but you see that this is the new bug eating campaign that's going on, that celebrities are saying eat bugs because Bill Gates is saying eat bugs.
Yeah.
And
the fact that they have to...
Why, in your view, what is going on here and how serious is it?
How much tin foil do you want me to put on my hat?
As much as you have, because I got plenty over here.
So, okay, for a start, you know it's bullshit when they have to have having all these celebrities endorse it. Mm-hmm. Like, there should be, at this point, there should be certain things that trigger your bullshit meter. Mm-hmm. I did it again.
That's fine.
My bad. There should be certain things that trigger your hoo-ha meter. So, okay, this is clearly being pushed on me for an agenda that is not in my best interests.
Yep.
Okay, so let's break this down. Bugs. Why would they want you to eat bugs? And, okay, it's because it's rules for thee and not for me. Mm-hmm. I guarantee you Bill Gates ain't eating bugs.
Well,
he's eating Waygu.
It's interesting you brought that up because I don't know if you saw that article from the G20 that you brought up Waygu. Do people know what Waygu is in the chat? It's like this super
Japanese
expensive beef. It's like...
It's not even that good.
Is really? I've never had it. Is it like a filet mignon? Is that type of thing?
No, so Waygu is beef that they feed the cows beer and get them super, super fat. So the marbling is like everywhere.
Oh, so it's like a fatty...
It's a very, very it's very marbled beef. But it's way better to eat grass-fed, pasture-raised beef. Infinitely better for you.
That's what I eat all the time. That's where my jerky is. The audience knows.
Excellent.
But the global elites of the G20, apparently they found the menu. And, the Bill Gates and the Klaus Schwabs, they were both in attendance. They were eating the Wagyu beef.
Of course.
Interestingly enough, while all the kids and you are being told to eat Beyond Burgers, nasty, and bugs. So, I mean, listen, you talk about tinfoil hats. A lot of the so-called conspiracy theorists of the last few years have been proven right on virtually everything. To me, this is very obvious what it is. It's a desire by these elites to make society increasingly less healthy and more reliant on big pharma, more reliant on big government, especially, if they're not forming unions together, breakdown of the family. It's all connected. That's how you create a society of dependence. So, but I'm curious, when you look, are you concerned that the United States is going the way of the Australia? Like, how close are we to that in your view?
Australia gets its influence from America more than anything else. So it's interesting to see them leading the way in this regard, because America exports its culture everywhere else, especially everywhere else in the Western world. We just absorb that instantly. But Australians are unique in that they're different, very different culturally from Americans. Here's a good example that might illustrate the difference between Australian and American cultures. In professional sports, in America, the best player is MVP, most valuable player. In Australia, they're called best and fairest. It's a different name, which illustrates the attitudes of the country a lot, I think. I think America's a lot more competitive and kind of individual-minded, I guess, in that regard. Whereas Australia, there's this idea of like having a fair go and playing by the rules, right?
Sounds like Obama's 2008 campaign.
Now that gets very dangerous, the idea of treating everyone equally and playing by the rules. That gets very dangerous when the rules are designed to screw you over.
Right.
That gets very dangerous when the rules aren't actually in your best interests.
Right.
But everyone is going along with it. This is what has made me really quite depressed when I went back to Australia for Christmas.
I can't imagine,
Seeing
honestly.
how much everyone had gone along with the bullshit and how much everyone had been brainwashed. Like, you've been locked in your house for like 2 years. You couldn't leave the country either. Most people don't know that. They couldn't leave the goddamn country for 2 years.
It was a legitimate lockdown.
They couldn't leave their state either. For example, from Miami, you couldn't drive to Lake New York. You couldn't drive to Louisiana or anything like that. You were stuck in your state and enforced by like a $10,000 fine.
Yeah.
Crazy. Okay, now they're trying to push all this bug crap on people. Where's the incentives? Why would they want to do that? Okay, well, Bill Gates bought up a whole ton of farmland in America. All right. He ain't sitting there down eating all the bugs at this meeting. None of the people at this meeting are. None of the people at G20 Summit. They're just trying to make the population weaker because malnutrition makes you not as cognitively switched on, makes you way easier to manipulate, way more susceptible to propaganda. Gee, we had 2 years where the propaganda machine was running full steam to try and convince everybody to be an experimental guinea pig. And there was enough of us that said no. And they're like, okay, what can we do to make sure that this chunk of the population that resisted our propaganda doesn't resist it the next time we try it? Okay, we make them malnourished. We give them crap food. You look back during the Roman times, they would deliberately feed the slaves crap food compared to the average Roman for that reason, to try and make them easier to control and more susceptible. It's exactly what this is all about.
And couple that with like testosterone destruction and, you know, emasculating men, and masculinity is toxic, and the messaging that comes in with media.